The fourth and the sixth benefit, as I told you, is the fourth is the benefit of being protected and cared for by all Buddhas. And the sixth one is the benefit of being protected constantly by the light of Amida's heart. So these two benefits are explained together, like in a couple. Why? Because they are very much interrelated. Yes, we will see how. Okay. So actually, the first benefit that we covered, if you remember, is the benefit, the protection of various powerful samsaric beings, like worldly protectors of the Dharma, especially gods, and Dharmapalas, or protectors of the Dharma, However, this benefit is the protection not of unenlightened beings, but enlightened beings, of enlightened bodhisattvas and Buddhas. Yes, and this is very much in relation to the 17th vow of Amida Buddha, which is the vow of the protection and the promotion of the primal vow by all Buddhas in the 10 directions of the universe. So all Buddhas in the universe, Medicine Master Buddha, I don't know, Ratnasambhava, Padmasambhava, Tara, all Buddhas in the universe are actually protecting all Buddhist practitioners, but especially those who say the Nembutsu of faith, those who follow the primal vow. And they are protecting us because we are doing what is actually the pinnacle of all practices, in the sense that the primal vow of Amida Buddha is the most universal and the most effective practice, the most universal and compassionate method to save sentient beings. Yes, Shinran Shonin said that the Buddhas protect persons of shinjin is truly beyond doubt. The Nirvana Sutra states, the Buddha said to Bodhisattva Kashyapa, if there are sons or daughters of good families who always sincerely perform the exclusive practice of the Nembutsu, whether they dwell in the mountain forest or in villages, whether they practice it in the daytime or at night, and whether they do so while sitting or laying down, Buddhas and world-honored ones always watch over them, just as if they were before their eyes, and are ready to accept their offerings and endow merits to them. Okay, so every time we say Amida Buddha's name, and actually all the time, for a person of Shinjin, we are constantly surrounded by the power and the presence of all Buddhas. Yes, it is said in the larger sutra as well that Avalokiteshvara and Mahastamaprapta, who are the two enlightened bodhisattvas that are like the right and the left hand of Amida Buddha, that are constantly with him, are also at our side, along with many other enlightened bodhisattvas and Buddhas. So we have the protection of them. Okay, when we are born in the Pure Land, we don't need the protection of anybody because we will become Buddhas there. So the protection of the Buddhas refers to this life in which we are still in samsara. Okay, so they're actually protecting us and blessing us. Yes, and making sure that we go to Amida Buddha's Pure Land. So when you single-mindedly recite Amida's name, and this is also explained by in the Jodo Shinshu by Master Shinran, he says,
just one more thing. Sorry, yes. Kosho Sensei. One more thing. When we hear the expression sons or daughters of good families, doesn't mean that you need to come from an aristocratic family or a virtuous family. It means male and female disciples of the Buddha. So this is what it means. You can offer here this expression, oh, sons and daughters of good family. It means, oh, boys and girls, disciple of Amida, of the Buddhas. That is what it means. Yes. Okay. Because we are considered to be into the family of the Buddhas, family of the disciples of the Buddha. Yes.
Yes, we are part of.
Please continue. Sorry.
Thank you, Sensei. Yes, yes. I think I was about to say something about
sorry.
it. No, but that's okay. Thank you. Because actually, many. Sometimes people might misunderstand this and think, okay, so Buddhism is like for the aristocracy, but it's totally wrong. Sometimes the sutras are very poetic and they try to explain that we are noble in the sense of noble sons of the Buddhas, noble daughters and sons of the Buddhas. Thank you. Okay, so. Then Shinran Shonin says in the Jodo Shinshu, chapter 3, he says, when you single-mindedly recite Amida's name, Avalokiteshvara and Mahastamaprapta will always follow you and protect you, just as shadows follow objects. They are like your close friends and teachers. So such a beautiful thing beautiful teaching and very true as well. Yes, when you entrust yourself to Amida Buddha, then Avalokiteshvara, Mahastamaprapta become your close friends. Also, all Buddhas of the universe. Yes, but especially those two, because they are actually very close karmically to Amida Buddha. And when we say Namo Amida Butsu, Avalokiteshvara, Mahastamaprapta, together with bodhisattvas, enlightened bodhisattvas, countless as the Ganges, suns, or as particles, accompany us just as shadow do things. Countless Amida Buddhas, yes, Nirmanakayas, no? Countless Amida Buddhas reside in the light of the Buddha of unkindled light. Each of these transformed Buddhas protect the person of true and real shinjin. When we say Namo Amida Butsu, the countless Buddhas throughout the 10 quarters surrounding us 100-fold, 1,000-fold, rejoice and protect us. Shakyamuni, Amida, and the Buddhas of the 10 quarters, all with the same mind, are no more apart from sentient beings of the Nembutsu than shadows from things. When I, Bodhisattva Mahastamaprapta, was in the causal stage, says here in the Surangama Sutra, he says, when I, Bodhisattva Mahastamaprapta, was in the causal stage, I realized insight into the non-origination of all existence by coming to possess the mind of the Nembutsu. Hence now, in this world of Saha, I embrace persons of the Nembutsu and bring them into the Pure Land. So you see, all of the Buddhas are actually protecting us. And why they are doing that? Because if you receive faith, then you will be a Buddha very, very soon. You know, remember our human lives are actually very short. Yes, we don't have not even 100 years. So chances are that all of here will be in the Pure Land by then. Okay, so that means that actually we will become Buddhas very, very soon. You know, very, very soon. There are many bodhisattvas that are very advanced bodhisattvas, but they will, even if they are advanced, they will have to wait many, many kalpas to manifest Buddhahood. Yes, but in our case, since we have faith in Amida Buddha, then the Buddhas who are actually waiting us in the Pure Lands, and especially in Amida Buddha's Pure Land, are already counting on us. Okay, it's like they see us and they say, okay, this is our future colleagues, our future colleagues in enlightenment. You know, they are our dear friends, and they will soon become Buddhas. Okay, so they are already taking us as future Buddhas, because we will become Buddhas very, very soon. Okay, so for them it's like a matter of celebration. Okay, so it means also that we are following the path that is the most blessed path among all the Mahayana paths. So they are actually not praising us; they are praising the light of Amida Buddha in us, which is the faith in or the faith in the primal vow. So all Buddhas are actually praising this light and are praising the fact that we have chosen to entrust ourselves to Amida Buddha. This is what they are praising.
You mean they are not praising our blind passions. They are not praising our unenlightened personalities. They are praising the fact that we have faith. Faith, shinjin, is the element that makes those Buddhas praise us, because they know that because of faith we will become Buddhas.
Yes.
Soon. Yes.
So even if we behave in stupid ways and we drink and we smoke,
I mean, yeah, doesn't mean that they agree with our bad deeds. Doesn't mean that they support us in doing evil. So they are not praising our unenlightened personality. They are praising the fact that we have shinjin, and that we will soon become Buddhas due to shinjin, which comes from Amida. Yes.
Yes, indeed. And actually they can help us in many, many ways that are very mysterious, and they can also help us to share the Dharma with others. They can help us to understand the sacred texts, you know. They can do many things, you know. Then also Shinran says, has also a beautiful passage here. He says, since persons of true Shinjin are guarded in this world, are protected in this world, the smaller sutra of immeasurable life speaks of the protection of the countless Buddhas in the 10 quarters. This does not mean that they guard such persons after birth into the Pure Land of peace, but rather that they watch over them with protecting thoughts while such persons are still in this Saha world. Of course, as I mentioned, there is no if we are born in the Pure Land, we are actually merged with the Dharmakaya and we are actually Buddhas, but so we don't need the protection. Actually, we will protect others. We will be the sources of protection of other beings. But for now, since we are still in samsara and we're in a very dangerous place with many maras and demons and all kinds of false gurus and false teachers, then the Buddhas protect us with a watchful eye. Yes. And more so, Amida Buddha, with the light of Amida Buddha's heart, he himself is the one protecting our faith. This is why, for example, Josho Sensei, who lives in a very Orthodox Christian country, and also myself, I live in Colombia, which is also very Catholic, you know, we have all of the chances in the world to change for somebody else to come and change our minds. You know, I am pretty sure I have been told that many times that I want to burn in hell, that I'm doing making a bad decision by becoming a Buddhist or a Jodo Shinshu Buddhist. And maybe they call me a heretic, or they have called Josho Sensei also like a demonic being, who knows, you know, but it doesn't matter, because this faith in Amida Buddha is indestructible. Actually, the fact that it's called diamond-like, diamond is a symbol for being indestructible, you know, diamond is very hard, you know, so the fact that our faith is unshakable is not because we make ourselves believe in Amida Buddha by some kind of a special practice or some kind of intellectual game or whatever. It's Amida Buddha himself who is protecting this faith. And this is explained masterfully by Master Shantao. He says, there are sentient beings who solely think on Amida Buddha. Only these people are constantly illumined by the light of that Buddha's heart, grasped, protected, never to be abandoned. It is not at all stated that any practitioners of various other acts are illumined and embraced. This is being protected in the present life, a manifestation of the decisive cause of birth in the Pure Land. This means that those people who combine the Nembutsu with other practices, or that they think that the faith in Amida Buddha is not enough for them, they are not granted this special protection by Amida Buddha, because that means that they still lack the faith of the primal vow. Okay, but for those people who solely dedicate their spiritual life to Amida Buddha, yes, according to the primal vow, then they actually have this protection of the light of that Buddha's heart, of Amida Buddha's heart, and they will never lose it. Yes, as long as they live in this world, yes, they will have this faith, and this faith will become actually the cause of their birth in the Pure Land. You were going to say something, Sensei. Sorry.
No, I want to say that my friends are not so hard, are not so much against me. You know, I mean, my friends are of two types. They are either very good Christians and good guys, and or they drink a lot. They have lots of vices. You know, so. But, you know, when you live among people who live a good, balanced life in other religions, you might be inclined to follow their example. But because I am protected by Amida Buddha, I know that their religion has limitations. And despite some good things that are there, and despite the fact that some of my Christian friends are very good guys, still they don't have the right view of the world, on the world, or on the path to take to salvation. I see the limitations. I see the limitations in their religion. I see how they explain the world, and I see the limitations of the so-called God they worship. Also, they are very good guys themselves. So because I'm kept in Amida's light, because I am protected by Amida's light, I can see the limitations of other religions, and I can see how wonderful the Buddhist path is, and how great explanations and rational explanations and this religion has on all aspects of life and the path to salvation. So, yeah, you know, and when I also look to and when I also look to the difficulties various of my friends have, who are not interested in any kind of religion, I also can see how bad it is to live a life without a path, without a clear path and clear explanations of why you suffer. I see how bad it is to drown yourself in alcohol or drugs when you have, because you have problems, you know, and not understanding why you suffer, why you have these problems, not seeing any clear light ahead. So both these examples make me entrust even more to Amida Buddha. Yeah.
Yes, Sensei, thank you. Indeed, indeed, Amida Buddha protects us from the negative influence of other belief systems that are actually samsaric in nature and also have their limitations, as you say. Yes. So indeed, Amida Buddha is the one protecting us from these teachings, you know, that have limitations, and also from eternalism and nihilism, which is actually what you are saying, no? Is from the eternalist point of view of these samsaric religions, and also from nihilism for people who don't believe in anything. So we're actually protected by these two false views by the power of the Buddhas, and we entrust ourselves to Amida Buddha, so we know that where we are going after we die. We become Buddhas there.
And we are also, yes, and we are also protected against the various injuries and insults other people throw against us, calling us a cult and calling us this and that. We just don't care because we have faith in Amida Buddha, you know. We even enjoy it.
Speaking for myself, that's why I just really don't even bother trying to reestablish a relationship with my family. I was raised Southern Baptist in Texas, and all of my family on both sides, my mother's side and my father's side, are Southern Baptist. And I'm a pagan in their mind in this life. I will, after I'm a Buddha, I will come and I will minister to them and guide them. But now there would be no point. That's also why I've disabled the comments on my YouTube channel, because it's like, I don't have time for debate. I don't have time, you know, you believe what you want to, you know, Jesus is Lord, whatever. It didn't, you know, he wasn't Lord to me, and Buddha is Lord, Amitabha Buddha. And there would be no point in arguing.
Yeah. Yes, I think this life is the best life we have since innumerable eons ago. So this is the best life. We are in human form. We met Amida Dharma. So no matter what happens to us, we are the most successful guys in the world. People of faith are the most successful people in the world. And they are in the best situation ever. Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
To do something.
Yes, please, Adrian.
Namo Amida Buddha. Ever since I started following Jodo Shinshu, and even before that, I meet interesting people. They made know about the main vow or Amida Buddha, anything or this consciously. But when I am around them, I feel like Amida is there. I can sense it, like he's watching our workplace, home, and everything. Saying the Nembutsu and bowing to the Buddha is my way of saying thanks for all he's done, is doing, and will do. I've let go of the idea that my power is better than others.
Yeah.
Namamida Bu.
Namamida Bu.
Piku said here in the comment, Sensei, other religions praise creation as if it's so beautiful, but they see it in a superficial way. Yes, I often say that only a perfect being, a perfect being can only create a perfect world. A perfect being cannot create an imperfect world where there is suffering, where people are born to kill each other, where they have to eat in order to survive, eat others in order to survive. So this world has some beautiful parts, but also because we actually live in the human world, in the human samsaric world. That's why it has some good parts and some beautiful things here. But that is because of our karma as human beings. Because if we were born in hells, that is not such a beautiful world to be in. So, yeah.
Also, our merits don't mean anything. As Orthodox Jodo Shinshu disciples, we realize our merits are nothing to brag about. The reason that we have turned to Amida Buddha in the first place is because we realize our merits to bring ourselves to enlightenment in this world, it's to no avail. It's not going to happen. Not in this Sahara.
Piku said here that some people may call us escapist, like we want to escape, but it's absolutely normal to want to be liberated from samsara, from the repeated births and deaths. That's wisdom, not, but it's very important here to mention that Jodo Shinshu doesn't say you should not try to be a good father or good engineer or good in your job, at your job, in whatever you do in the world. Doesn't say that. When we speak about other power and the need to entrust on other power, we refer only to the attainment of nirvana, of a complete freedom from birth and death. So also you can, so it's not about what you can be in this life. It's about your final liberation from birth and death. That is where we entrust to Amida Buddha. See, that is what self-power, other power is referring to. Not to the fact that you should live a life of not taking care of yourself or your family or not doing your job right. It's not about that. Yes. You can be a good father, a good engineer, but you cannot be a Buddha. That's totally different. Please continue, Kosho.
All right. So as we were talking about, we are protected by the light of Amida's heart. We already explained the protection of all Buddhas, how this is related to the 17th vow and the fact that all Buddhas want us to become Buddhas, and they praise the faith in us because we have made the choice to entrust ourselves to Amida. So they are actually considering us future colleagues in enlightenment. So are actually helping us in many, many ways, Then also we have here another passage of Shinran. If I'm not mistaken, let me see. Yes, Shinran. He says, there are sentient beings who solely think on Amida Buddha. Only these people are constantly illumined by the light of that Buddha's heart, grasped and protected, never to be abandoned. It is not at all stated that any practices of various other acts are illumined or embraced. So that means that if you think that the faith in Amida Buddha is not enough for you, yes, and you have other Dharma doors that you are practicing at the same time, that means that you still don't have the faith of the primal vow, yes, and you lack this protection of Amida Buddha's light. So this protection of this exclusive being embraced by Amida Buddha is only for those who are only dedicated to this spiritual path of entrusting him according to the primal vow. Then you have this protection, okay? Then he also said, Shinran, there are sentient beings who solely think on Amida Buddha, signifies entrusting oneself with wholeness of heart to Amida Buddha. These people are constantly illumined. Constantly means ever, without pause. Without pause, the person of true and real shinjin is ever illumined and protected at all times and places, since he or she is constantly protected without pause by the heart of Amida. This Buddha is called the Buddha of unceasing light. Protected means that the Buddha protects the person of shinjin without pause, in all places, at all times, and without discrimination among people. Protected means that one cannot be deferred by those who have taken up other teachings and beliefs, or obstructed by those of different understandings and practices. One is not threatened by the heavenly demon papillas, or troubled by evil gods and demons. Okay? So, in other ways, we are not obstructed by gyalpos or very dangerous samsaric beings who are against Buddhism. We are not threatened by people of other religions who are trying to convert us. We are not persuaded by nihilism, just people who don't believe in anything. And we are also, and this is very important for us, especially in Jodo Shinshu nowadays, we are not persuaded by those people who misinterpret Jodo Shinshu, yes? Like many other false scholars, yes, who call themselves a Jodo Shinshu Buddhist, and they can even be outwardly seen by like priests and nuns, but they're actually heretics. They are not even sometimes I don't even consider them to be Buddhists. They are actually materialists in disguise, yes, who don't believe in Amida Buddha, and who don't believe in the primal vow, and don't believe in the authenticity of the Mahayana Sutras and the authenticity of the primal vow as a teaching that Shakyamuni Buddha gave us, you see? And they don't believe in the real authentic existence of a real living being called Amida Buddha and his entourage of bodhisattvas. Enlightened
yes, such deluded scholars break the refuge vows. They break the refuge vow of taking refuge in the Buddha because they deny the real existence of Amida Buddha. And they also break the refuge vow in the Dharma because they deny Mahayana Sutras, the authenticity of Mahayana Sutras. And also they break the refuge in the Sangha because they create disharmony in the Sangha. And to create disharmony in the Sangha means to spread wrong views. Not to create, some people misunderstand this idea of creating the disharmony in the Sangha and think it means to not be it means to be not politically correct, you know. That's not about that. If you spread wrong views in the Sangha, if you make people lose their faith, or if you put obstacles in their awakening to faith, then you are disrupting the Sangha. Okay, please continue. Sorry.
Yes, Sensei. Yes, so as I was telling you, we are protected against these deluded scholars that could be misguiding us through their own ignorance, but they could also be influenced by demons and influenced by actually maras, yes, who are not interested in the salvation of beings, but in keeping beings in samsara. So we should be very grateful that we have the protection of Amida Buddha, and we cannot be deluded by these beings who are creating an immense evil karma by this, you know. Also, there are Yosho Sensei has also said here in the book that there are many people, even if we have many good Christian friends, and I also do. Actually, my mother and father are very good Catholics, you could say, nice people. Yes. However, sometimes they try to convert me. Sometimes, not my mother and my father, but sometimes some friends, maybe some people on the internet, they try to convert me to Christianity, you know. But we always remain firm in our belief systems. Yes. And actually, Yosho Sensei has a very good, commentary on this, and he said that even if all the rocks as you say, Yosho Sensei, all of the rocks start to sing and like praise the God of the monotheists, you still wouldn't believe, you know. And this is actually called faith, you know. It means that doesn't matter what other people tell you, doesn't matter if all people tell you that the Mahayana Sutras are not true, it doesn't matter if all Christians tell you that you are going to hell, you still know that Amida Buddha takes care of you and you will become a Buddha in Amida Buddha's Pure Land. Okay?
Yes, if Jesus appears in the sky above you, then you ask him if he wants to listen to the Dharma about Amida Buddha.
Yes.
Would you like to know about our Lord and Savior Amida Buddha?
Yes. If Jesus comes, I will just tell him, man, entrust yourself to Amida Buddha. Yes, because all of these religions are nonsense. Yes, indeed. So yes, this protection of our faith and the power of this conviction, it cannot come from us. It comes from Amida Buddha. This is the great thing. Amida Buddha is in charge of protecting our faith. And then, so it is not by accident in Jodo Shinshu, as Yosho Sensei says here, that the expression diamond-like faith, no? That means the power of our faith its origin is the mind and heart of Amida Buddha himself. So try to reflect upon that, you know? So we are stable and constant in our faith due to Amida Buddha's influence on us, yes? I can tell you from my own experience, yes, I have had many, been part of many religions. I have had many philosophies, you know, and it's a miracle for me that I have stayed, you know, with Amida Buddha, yes, for such a long time. And I have stayed in this path, you know, of trusting him, you see. So actually the fact that we don't change so easily from philosophy to philosophy and we are staying with Amida Buddha is because of the power of Amida Buddha. It's like Amida Buddha is like hooking us, you know, it's like he's fishing, like a fish out of the water. He's already hooked us, yes, from the mouth. And he's just doing this, and we are going to the Pure Land by virtue of the power of Amida Buddha himself, yes? So this is indeed beyond our comprehension, but Amida Buddha has actually caught us in his net, yes? And he will take us to the Pure Land by virtue of his own power, yes, not our own. We don't have the capacity to have faith ourselves. We don't have the capacity to be constant in anything, yes? The only reason we are constant in Amida Buddha's salvation is because of his power, yes? Also, we see here another passage. He says, through the words of the witness and protection of the countless Buddhas throughout the 10 quarters, we should realize that the mind of self-power aspiring for supreme enlightenment is incapable of reaching fulfillment. Realization of true and real shinjin is rare in this defiled world of the last Dharma age. The witness of Buddha's countless ascents of the Ganges reveals how difficult it is to attain, yes? So that means that all of this aspiration for enlightenment becomes like a fanciful dream. Yeah, I want to become a Buddha. Okay, that is very nice. But if you don't have the power of Amida Buddha, this will only be like a pipe dream. Only will be like a wishful thinking. Yes, I want to become a Buddha. It's like I want to be like an astronaut. But okay, but if you don't have the means to get to that dream, then it is only like a child's dream. Okay. In our case, we want to become Buddhas, but we have somebody who can actually help us to attain birth in the Pure Land, and we will become Buddhas by virtue of that power, not our own power. Okay, so that means that by having shinjin, our aspiration to become Buddhas becomes something very tangible, something very real. You know, when other Buddhist schools speak about enlightenment, first of all, most of them don't know what they're talking about. They're talking about enlightenment as it was some kind of peace of mind. They don't talk about the transcendental powers of the Buddhas, about omniscience, about the fact of helping all Buddhas, having the Trikaya, the three Buddha bodies. Yes.
Actually, sorry. Modernists from various schools understand enlightenment like this, like some kind of human peace of mind. But Buddhist schools, if you go to the ancient masters of various Buddhist schools, you can see that they really understand what is about enlightenment, what enlightenment stands for. In my book on emptiness and Buddha nature, I quote from various Tibetan sources about and those Tibetan masters also took their information from various sutras. So actually, Buddhist schools know what is enlightenment, but various modernists, especially in Western countries, don't get it. They think it's like peace of mind and being a good person, a good human being, and so on. This is why we have so many wrong views nowadays. And many wrong views are related with how people or fake Buddhists in Europe understand Buddhas and enlightenment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think also the problem, Sensei, if I may say so, is that they also it's not that they have like a little misunderstanding of enlightenment. They also don't believe in samsara. They also don't believe in karma. They also don't
rebirth.
They also
life
don't
after
believe
death.
In life after death. So if we start with that wrong foot, we are starting with nowhere here, because
yes, but the fault doesn't lie in the schools. They pretend to be members, but in their own minds,
yes,
own deluded minds. Many Buddhist schools are many teachings of the various Buddhist schools nowadays are distorted by such modernists and atheists who pretend to be Buddhists.
They pretend to be Buddhists, and also yes, as Yosho Sensei says, this conception of Buddhahood pertains or belongs to all authentic lineages. It's not only for us. This is basic Mahayana and also Vajrayana. Yes, so it's a pity. It's such a pity because all Dharma schools are so beautiful. Yes, all Dharma gates are amazing. Yes, but they are amazing if they take the sutras as their guideline. Yes, if they take the modernist views as their guideline, they're actually not following Shakyamuni Buddha, but they're actually following these deluded scholars instead of our ultimate teacher, which is Shakyamuni and Amida Buddha. Yes, in our case, Amida Buddha. So yes, thank you, Sensei. Indeed, we are in very dark times, and this is precisely why people don't accept, shinjin, because they think that enlightenment is like a fanciful satori or a fanciful tale, or they think that it is only about being a cool guy, taking things very chill. Yes, so that is why they don't see the urgency to entrust themselves to Amida Buddha. So this is why I am of the opinion that if more Buddhists knew a basic Mahayana, there would be many more people entrusting themselves to Amida Buddha, or at least they would try to. Yes, because they will really know in their bones that they won't attain enlightenment in this life. So they will find a solution. Yes, but the reason they don't want to find a solution is because they are not taught a basic Buddhism. All right. So let me try to read a final passage here. There are so many passages to be quoted.
More passages people can read in the link I will put in the description. No problem.
I want to read also a final passage by Master Honen. He says here, beautiful passage of Honen. He says, the merit of protection by Amida Buddha is received in daily life. This is because one who has genuine belief in birth in the Pure Land holds no doubt. Amida Buddha cast 84,000 rays of his light of compassion upon one who is resolute in the attainment of this goal. Amida Buddha shines this light continually on the Nembutsu practitioner in daily life and up to the final moment of that person's life. For this reason, it is called the vow by which Amida never abandons the Nembutsu devotee. Okay, so naturally, if we have faith in Amida Buddha, we continue to say the Nembutsu of faith throughout our life as an expression of this trust and faith in Amida Buddha. We will constantly being protected of Amida by Amida Buddha, and according to Master Honen, Amida Buddha is always shining his light upon us, even when we don't feel it. Yes, this is constant. Yes, faith is not something that you can lose. It's like Joshua Sensei says, it's like your breath. Sometimes you forget that you are breathing, but you are most certainly breathing, or otherwise you would die. No, so shinjin is always like that. Sometimes we forget that we have faith in Amida Buddha, but it is this faith in Amida Buddha is always there. Yes, we are not always aware of this, but it's always there. Yes, and we can always remember this faith in Amida Buddha.
It's like, yeah, it's not like exactly we forget. So people, we know. I know what you mean, but some people might misunderstand it.
Yes.
It's the fact that we don't always say the Nembutsu, but the fact that we don't always constantly say the Nembutsu doesn't mean we don't have faith, or the fact that we are not always sinking to Amida Buddha doesn't mean we don't have faith. You might have moments when you are focused on a movie or on your girlfriend, and you don't sing to Amida Buddha at that moment, or you are very sad, but that doesn't mean that you don't have faith. So this is the easy path. This is not a path where Amida requires from us to be focused on him entirely, 24/7. No. Yeah.
That would be impossible. It's like loving your mother or loving your relative. The fact that you are not constantly thinking about your loved one doesn't mean that you don't love them. Yes, it is impossible.
Or the fact that you don't constantly say to them, I love you, doesn't mean you don't, the sort of love is not there. It's the same with faith. That, even if you don't always express it, doesn't mean it's not there. And actually, Amida Buddha said, say my name perhaps even 10 times, which means that you should not be obsessed with number. Any number is okay. Yes.
So we shouldn't try to force ourselves to be like a perfect Jodo Shinshu, like a perfect Buddhist, because it's impossible.
Or to develop great feelings for Amida. Doesn't need that. We don't need to love Amida Buddha. Amida Buddha loves us. We as ordinary people can't actually experience true love until we go to the Pure Land. Yeah. We have an interest. It's in our own interest to rely on Amida Buddha. we cling to Amida's sleeve like a desperate child, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
But we can't love Amida Buddha in the way he loves us. It's impossible.
It's impossible, yes.
I was just thinking about what Rev Kosho said a little earlier about when we were talking about having faith in Amida Buddha that can't be shaken. For me, I know, and Reverend Kosho said that he's traveled, done various different philosophies, and I know for me, it's hard to stick to one religion for a long period of time. Just because my mind just is constantly back and forth and questioning and thinking, and I get so tired of it, which is why I'm kind of relieved to know that I don't have to worry about the faith anymore, because Amida Buddha, it's not mine. It's not something that I create or that I think. It's light from Amida Buddha that I'm receiving. So I don't have to worry anymore. I don't have to stress about, oh, am I believing this correctly? Or, oh, am I not doing this well enough? I can just entrust that Amida Buddha will carry me.
Yeah, you don't need to feel the right thing to have the right feeling. You don't need to worry about that. Yes. Yeah, it's very important. We don't need to develop anything in our delusional mind. We just let Amida, we let go and let Amida. We let Amida take us to his pure land. And we just enjoy the ride. Enjoy our last life as samsaric beings.